Okay, this video may seem a little silly, but I have had to do this with, well, many youth, many cadets over the years, and even an experienced fencer, it might help. But particularly for the youth, putting your shoes on. If you can put your shoe on without having to untie it, it's too loose. If you can slip your shoe off without having to untie it, it's still too loose. Should not just be tight up here around your ankle. It needs to really be also snug forward in the foot. You're trying to prevent your foot from sliding backwards and forwards in the shoe and stubbing your toes in the front. You're trying to keep your feet from sliding sideways. It delays your change of direction. That buildup of friction and a little bit of sweat is also what leads to blisters. So you want your shoes snug. You will be quicker. And how embarrassing to have your shoe fall off. If your shoe falls off in épée and the other person hits your shoe, even if your foot's not in it, that's still a good touch. Make sure it's a little bit loose in the front to put it on if you've had it tight. Most of the time, you guys' shoes are too loose. I put it in, I pull up on the tongue, okay? Then I hit my heel a few times. You want your heel to be sitting back into the heel cup of the shoe. These aren't fencing shoes, these are just general court type shoes, okay? They're slightly higher, they can also be low, that's fine, that's not important. Once you've got your heel into the back, you want to make sure it stays there. Grab the very bottom, pull it snug. You don't want to crush your toes, but you want it snug. A little bit on the next one, and go up, so at each X, you pull it a little bit more snug. So now it's tight through the top of the shoe here. It's going to keep my heel into my shoe, to the heel cup. If you're a fencer, you also might wear a heel cup on your front foot. Now, these also allow me here to have an extra hole. I'm not so concerned with that. You should have a long string. You make your first bow, and you pull the loops through. Then go back over, and don't knot it, not like this. Make a bow. That gives it nice and snug attachment, okay? But easy to get out also. You just unpull the first bow, unpull the second bow, pull it up with the tongue a little bit to help loosen the top of it. Loosen these. If you can, again, if you can get your foot out now, it wasn't tight enough before. Then take your shoe off, okay? And your shoe is much less likely to come untied also. You won't have long straps flopping around. The other foot, same process. Pull up on the tongue, pull up on the laces a little bit, make sure there's no slack in the lower laces. Pull it tight. Regular first bow. I hope everybody knows how to do a bow at least. Now, pull it through, and you make your double bow, and you are ready for action. Your feet will be quicker, less likely to have blisters. You can still get blisters sometimes, particularly if you sweat. If you sweat heavily, best thing to avoid blisters on your feet really are wool socks, not cotton socks. When cotton gets wet, the fibers actually shrink and then cut into your moistened skin. Wool expands when it's wet, so even It does not cut into the softened skin, and wool keeps you warm even when it's wet. And that's important also at the end of the day. Okay, that's how you tie your shoes.